here's what we got going on today, January 18th, 2024. This is a 11-foot long, I don't know if you can see it there. Focus, focus, hocus pocus. There we go. So, it's 11-foot long, 11-foot wide, and I got to do a top stitch on this. So it's already been seamed down the length here all the way. And I've got to roll this up to get it through the throat of the machine to sew a top stitch under here. That's got to have a top stitch on that. So this has got to get all rolled into a nice, neat little roll. And then I got to also fold this up after it's rolled, pull it back so I can guide it through the machine, which is pushed all the way over. It's on wheels, so it's all the way back. And then once I get this thing backed up behind the machine, I can start it through. And then once I get into it, like half or a third of the way, I can fold up that end, push the machine back again, and get another 5-foot run on it. But that's what you got to go through to put a top stitch on a really long panel like this. It's not just like zip, zip, zip. It's like a lot of setup time. Just cutting these pieces, lapping them on there, sewing the edges up, flipping it around. Moving it back and forth through the machine takes quite a while. So don't think that all that sewing is just real simple because it goes through a machine zip, lickety split. Okay, now the first problem is to roll up this 11-foot long piece into a tube that I can thread into the machine here. And you're going to need a piece of cardboard to do that, but you don't want the cardboard tube in there. So what you got to do is you got to tape a piece of scrap onto here so you can pull it out of there. And you're also going to need some spring clips to hold your tube once you get it rolled up so that you can secure it. Here, I'll show you. Hang on. Okay, so I put my clamp on down there, past the cardboard tube, obviously. And then you got to just roll up the rest of this till you get it rolled up there. And you leave it a little bit loose, of course, and then hopefully we're going to be able to pull our cardboard tube out the end there, or pull it most of the way, and then tighten up your roll here, because you want this roll kind of manageable for when you shove it through the machine there. So there you go. Only took about 15 minutes. Alright, so we got that rolled up, we got our cardboard tube pulled out so we can actually bend this thing and start our top stitch. Which way is that going to go? It's going to go on this side, so we got to fold that under, pull this back about 6 feet so we can get it started into the machine. Hang on. Okay, there. So I got it folded over, rolled into a tube, faced into the machine. So now I can get the light over there on that and pull my board out a little farther if I need to, and get my top stitch started on there. And that's just for the first half. Then after I get this, wiggled through there, folded up on that end, and this end flattened out, I can finish. So there's another 20 minutes, half hour just for one top stitch on one side. So it shows you there's hours and hours in sewing up this big of a panel. All right, I've walked it back about 5 feet. We're going in for our second bite. I couldn't quite get it all the way down, so I got one more fold in it. But yeah, so it's about three charges at it to get the whole seam with the top stitch on there. All right, to figure out what's going on. Yeah, I got to get 3 bites on this because my machine's only moving 5 feet. I got all this other stuff in the way, my boxes of canvas and stuff. And oh, that's my pepper plants over there emitting all the bright light, which I had to move out of the way so I could just get the machine going this far. But yeah, some of the hottest peppers in the world right there, the primatalis. That's on my other channel. But yeah, I got the top stitch almost 2/3 of the way. And then we got to flip this whole thing around, roll it all back, roll up that side, and go back at it again, do the same thing. So yeah, when you're sewing a big piece like this, you got to push it through, but you've got so much fabric down there you can't. So you got to get like a big stick over here to help you push that so you can, wear this out so you can run down your seam there. And it helps to have a machine that is on wheels so you can move it into the seam. Otherwise, you'd be really fighting this to get this through a machine. Alright, got her all rolled up and folded up. Switched over halfway, so get started on that. Oh yeah, and if you think having your machine on wheels, oh, it just makes it so much easier, you know, everything just moves over the work, and it's like, no, it's more moving parts, and you got to keep stuff from under your wheel. You hit a piece of thread, it stops, you can't go anymore. Alright, I got about halfway here, so now I got to get around this side of the machine, go over here, fold this side. Oh, I gotta fold this side up before we can move the machine. Hang on, let me set this down here. I gotta move this. Hang on. Fold. Take that clamp off there. Oh yeah, don't throw that under the wheels. Fold that up like that, and then we gotta pull the machine back down here to the end. Don't trip over anything. Then we can, ooh, look at that magic shot right through the throat of the sewing machine. That's a YouTube first. Wow, I didn't even plan that. It just kind of randomly happened. Glad you could be here to be a part of that. All right, so now get the machine, get the chair back over here. Oh, your chair's got to be on wheels too, so everything is on wheels. Everything gets stuck. All right. Now I can pull this way just a little bit, get us centered up here where we can stretch this out onto the table a little bit. This is going to have to go back over some, flatten that out. That's a little better. All right, let's get ready to sew this up. All right, I don't have a tripod, but got it propped up on a glue can here. That's where the glue can lid is, right here. Actually try to do this. My wind noise reduction is probably on, so you can't hear me. Alright, try not to knock that over. Alright, we gotta get this going over here. Now, there we go. Voila, nothing to it. Fold that there just a little. I'm actually kind of pulling the machine with my foot as I'm going, unless it starts to bog down, hit the edge of the table, or get stuck some way. Then I'll actually pull it with my hand. Or if it gets too stuck, I'll just kind of start wiggling the material back and forth, walking it through. You want to be careful to try to keep your needle buried when you stop. So if you go to pull on the table, see now I'm getting stuck here. I gotta whoop, see, I have my needle up. That's a no-no. I'm going to go back and correct that. There we go. Yeah, we got it. Helps if you can reach over there to grab that other side. I've sewn jobs so big they were brought in on a pallet. It took 6 people to unfold it. It was a huge bounce house thing. I forget what it weighed. It was over a ton, I believe. I don't have a servo motor. I'm old school. I need to get one. Come on. Almost there. Been nice if I had time lapse, huh? Alright, there we are. Alright, now I gotta lay this thing out. I gotta mark the centers on it on the bottom. And then I got to get it over and stretch it over a frame and clamp it down and mark all the edges. Whew. About 3 hours of work there. Or well, more than that maybe.